皆さんこんにちは。Welcome to Delicio channel. Do you know Gyoza? They are dumplings filled with meat and vegetables. The base is crispy, juicy on the inside, and the wrapping is soft and chewy. This video is a complete tutorial of how to make Japanese style gyoza, step by step, including how to make wrappers from scratch, fillings, dipping sauce, how to wrap, how to preserve, and how to cook them, along with lots of useful tips. Please use comment section to ask any questions, share your experience or advice, or express love for gyoza. Making wrappers from scratch is quicker and easier than you think. You only need flour and water, so it's cheap and safe without any additives. But if you want to skip that step, you can find frozen wrappers easily in Japanese or Chinese Asian shops. So let's get started. First of all, we're gonna make a wrapper dough. We need 200 grams of all-purpose flour and 140 milliliters of water. Shift the flour into a bowl and boil the water. Pour boiling water into the flour and mix them with a spatula. You can mix it like cutting them to spread the water evenly to all the flour. You don't want to try to make it into a big dough yet. It should become like this. Make sure that there is no dried flour anywhere. Now you can use your hand to put them together like this. And knead the dough. You don't need to knead it too much. The surface can be still rough like this. Put the dough back in the bowl and cover it with a wet cloth and leave it for about 20 minutes. While we are waiting for the dough to be ready, let's prepare for the fillings. Wash about 300 grams of Chinese cabbage or wombok, however you call this, and chop them finely. This is the way I cut. I think this is a quick way to chop. You can use normal cabbage instead of wombok if you prefer. Put them in a bowl and add 3 grams of salt. And squish them like this and leave it for a while, so that the salt can take out the water from wombok. 300 grams is usually less than a quarter. If you buy a half wombok, using from the middle part will keep the rest fresh longer. Chop 20 to 30 grams of chives. Usually Chinese chives are used in gyoza, but I'm using chives from Australia this time because it's just easier to get. They are different, but it works. When you finish chopping them, let's leave it in a little bowl for now. If you are using whole garlic and ginger, you can grate them now if you are still waiting for the dough to be ready. We'll need 2 cloves of garlic and 3 grams of ginger. Now the dough should be ready. Sprinkle some flour or any starch on the pastry mat and place the dough. Roll the dough to make it long and cut it into 3 equal pieces. Cover 2 of them with a wet cloth to prevent them from drying. Roll one of them and cut it in 8 equal pieces. Cut in half. Cut the half in 4 and cut the other half in 4. Put the cut side up and adjust the round shape. Then flatten it with your palm and then flatten more using your fingers. The more you make it bigger in this step, the easier it gets to make it nice and round. Feel free to skip this step if you are good with rolling pins. Now you can use a rolling pin to finish it off. Roll it from the center to the outer edge, then turn the dough. Roll it up and down again. Continue doing so until it's big enough to wrap, around 9 cm diameter. Now I'll show you a different way. You can roll it in one hand and turn the dough little by little using the other hand like this. Don't forget to put enough starch if you are placing them on top of each other. If you have a circle or round and good sized cookie cutter, you can make a big flat dough and cut them out. Just try some different ways so you can find the best way for you. Now the wrappers are ready. Let's finish off with the fillings. Add 2 grams of salt to 250 grams of minced pork and knead it well until it gets sticky. Japanese gyoza is usually filled with pork, but you can use any meat of your choice. I'm actually using beef this time because that's what I had in my fridge. It gets like this, sticky, after kneading around 2 to 3 minutes. Add 20 to 30 grams of chopped chives. Now some water should be out from the wombok. And squeeze the wombok as much as you can to remove the water. Then put them in the bowl. And repeat the process. Add a tablespoon of soy sauce, 2 teaspoons of sake, and 2 teaspoons of sesame oil, and about 3 grams of grated ginger, and 2 cloves of grated garlic. Then mix them really well with your hand until they are evenly mixed. Like this. Now it's time to wrap. Put the wrapper on your hand and put some fillings in the middle. Fold the wrapper in half without sealing it. And pinch one side of the edge and start making pleats with the upper side of the wrapper. As you fold each pleat, press it tightly together with the other side of the wrapper. When you are done, you can pinch the outer edge to make sure it's sealed so the meat juice doesn't come out when you cook them. Just with the fillings we made, it's super delicious and original. But I personally love adding some cheese along with the fillings. You can add anything you like to make it unique. If you are using store-bought gyoza wrappers, I recommend you to use some water to seal the wrappers because they are a bit dried. Just prepare some water in a little cup, dip an index finger and gently draw a line. If you are not going to eat all the gyoza, you can freeze them. Place gyozas separated to each other and freeze them. When it's frozen, you can put them in an airtight bag or container. We are ready to cook. Pour some oil in a pan and heat it up. While we are waiting, add 1 teaspoon of flour into a half cup of water and stir them well. When the oil is hot, spread it around and place gyozas in the pan. Cook with high heat for 1 to 2 minutes until the bottoms are slightly burnt. Pour the mixture of water and flour after stir it well again. Put the lid on and turn the heat down to a little weaker than middle heat for about 8 minutes. While steaming, we can make dipping sauce. 4 teaspoons of soy sauce, 2 teaspoons of white vinegar, and 1 teaspoon of mirin. If you don't have mirin, you can add a little bit of sugar and sake instead, or you could just skip it. You might want to heat it up in the microwave to make it milder. I like adding some sesame oil here. You can add some chili oil if you like spicy. When the water is gone from the pan, pour 2 teaspoons of sesame oil and turn the heat up to middle heat to make the bottom crunchy. Make sure it's not stuck to the pan. Unstuck it with a spatula if it's stuck. And tip it over onto a serving plate. It's ready! いただきます。Delicious! Juicy, crunchy, and chewy. If you liked this video, please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. Thank you for watching!